Welcome to another episode of the Headlight Restoration Pro, where I'll be showing you how to take headlights like these and turn them into something more like this. This is a step-by-step tutorial, or better yet, a training seminar by the Headlight Restoration Pro.
The Headlight Restoration Pro.
Step 1. Headlight inspection and spotting indicators.
Let's get down to business. As I said, this is going to be a step-by-step tutorial and training, headlight restoration training. And in this step 1, you want to evaluate the headlight. You're making sure that it's not too dirty, and you're checking out for indicators like this that can show you how good your headlight can come out.
Tools you will need, pros and everyday Joes.
Okay, so what I use in a nutshell is in front of you. The main things that I use to perform a headlight restoration. Behind you is my fish tank, nice little backdrop, that's all. Anyways, let's start out here in the front. And what you see here is 3M masks, protection. This is professional grade stuff. If you could, spin for something like this, it would be advised that you do. If not, just make sure you have a face covering on in a well-ventilated area. But this primarily, this mask is for sanding and pretty much everything. It's just not as good as this mask in handling vapor, because this mask is specifically designed for organic vapor. And just regular silicon vapor and stuff like that. Primarily vapor only is what this mask is. And I use this mask only for this, because this stuff is strong and it's very fine particle, and you can still kind of smell it and taste it inside when you're using the pink cartridges. Even though the pink cartridges are used for everything, they're just not as strong at doing certain things like that silicon vapor. Okay, so other things that we're going to go ahead and we're going to disqualify some of these things as a must-have or a need. But as far as professionals, these are a must-have and must-need, and things you should use that make things so much easier. That is my electric blower and case. They don't come together. I had to specifically find this case. Both are on Amazon in the link. Everything you see here, well, most of the things you see here are in the link. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that for the everyday person. But for the professional, I would advise getting something like that. It makes it a hell of a lot easier. Let's get back to this here. Okay, so this is just, see how it says HLC? That's just what I put on it, so I know that it's headlight lens cleaner or polish. It's hard lens polish. Right here looks the same, but it's not. It's rubbing compound. If you're professional, you should always keep some rubbing compound, because that's what this is in here. On the little bottles I use just to spare weight and space. You should always keep it on you, just in case you overgo the tape, or anything happens, you got to get some glue residue off of the vehicle, or you got to, you brush the vehicle slightly with a pad or something, and there's a little dull mark that I call it RBC, but rubbing compound will break that down. But let's get back here to safety. Always safety first. You want to make sure you protect yourself. It's easy to get into the mode that I'm so good, and that's going to happen because nothing's ever happened, but you never know. So I try to use these safety measures as possible. A lot of times I'm just using my glasses here. These are just basic Timberland glasses. Pretty good. Basically just trying to stop in case something pops or shoots off, using the drill or something, and goes into your eye, things that can blind you or irritate your eye. Professionals, this is a must-have. This is a basic dental kit. It's not in the bio. I did get it from Amazon. Gotta see, I gotta put some more stuff in the bio, but there's a lot in there already, so I gotta kind of pick and choose. But this is used for getting the tape that gets stuck in between the light when you're taking the tape off. In between the light and the car, sometimes tape tears off and gets stuck in there, and you can't get it out without touching the light. You just did, so I use those to get them out. This is a must-have for a professional. and I would say you would want to have for an everyday person, but you can get away with just using a drill on the steps that I use the AC Delco. You're not going to yield a highest level clarity or polish, but you can still yield some great results. With that being said, even if you're a professional or, definitely a professional, you need to have that. You need to be using some sort. And this is tape here. This in the bio is a 3M tape. Auto masking tape. It's designed for it's an auto finish masking tape. It's designed for cars with a finished paint job on it to be removed and to not tear off clear coat and stuff like that. It's the right amount of adhesive, and it's designed to withstand sanding or whatnot. Also, the microfiber towel. That is a premium microfiber towel. You want to use soft ones when working with, working with the clear coat of a vehicle or any kind of headlight. Also have cleaner, sprayable cleaner, which is glass cleaner and water. And once again, you're going to need a hard lens plastic polish. There's many different varieties, but what I have found is the 3M is far superior in most cases. This is just a regular old Walmart card, okay? Use an old card for when you're taping off the lights. You really don't want the lights touching the tape, because when you put it in there, it's usually not folded up correctly. So you need to use something like that to slide through, kind of like you're swiping a card, to make sure the tape is adhered inside. Anyways, these are 320s right there, and 220s right there, P220s and P320s right there. You're generally not going to need this. This is if you have some kind of freakish light with something bad on it, or they're really bad, or more than likely I only ever use those when there's 2K clear present, which is not the standard thing. Those are just some people that don't really understand and put stuff like that on there. This is a basic 3-inch, very basic. These are the ones I like to use just because they're lightweight. It's a basic 3-inch end piece with an interface pad glued to it, pretty much, and that's what the pads stick to. Okay, these are the primary pads you're going to be using: a P500, a P800, and a Trisect P3000. This is the most expensive pad, but it is the best pad. You can use this pad. Literally, I use it for 5, 6, 7 cars sometimes, and also, one of the most important things is the sealer. You can't have any real headlight restoration or true headlight restoration without sealing the headlights. And that doesn't mean wax. That doesn't mean nothing. You actually need a UV sealer. All the other wax and stuff like that can be placed on another time. And it actually says UV sealer on there, designed for headlights. Okay, so this is not a need for the everyday person. It's a want. That's why it's still up here. For the professional, I would say it's a need, just because from my experience, air drying or forced air drying is superior than any other method. It does not interfere or change the parameters of the sealant. It speeds up the drying. It's primarily this sealant, but most sealants it does the same effect on. You don't want to use UV lights, heat guns, and all that stuff I've tried before, and it hinders the function and quality of the sealing. Changes parameters. It speeds things up too fast. Does weird stuff, causes clouding and hazing. Air drying, forced air drying, either or is the way to go. But that's pretty much everything that you need in a nutshell.
Step number 2, safety and P500 disc.
Now that we got that out the way, let's continue to step 2. We got the evaluation out the way. We got our safety gear on, safety mask and goggles or glasses. After you got those things in place, you want to go ahead and get your drill set up. Make sure the battery's in. Make sure your end piece is in. Affix your P500 to the end of the backing plate here, the 3-inch backing plate. You also want to kind of get your depth to, start in an area, and don't primarily just hold it still. Never hold it still. And dry sanding method or any kind of sanding method, you never really want to hold the drill or your device still. You kind of want to work at the very least, a couple inch pattern and just kind of find your depth. You should be able to find your depth by the way it feels, and by the way it looks. Primarily, this first layer is going to come off really gross looking, dingy, whitish, off-whitish color as you see there. Once you get to a more acceptable depth, meaning that you removed enough, it is going to become a white, fine, baby powderish looking substance. And you're also going to see it come off. If you could kind of look here at this area here, you can see it's different than this area over here once the drill moves. You can see that it's coming off, and you can definitely feel it. It's going to have a lot of resistance on the drill. The old material is going to have the damaged material is going to have a lot of resistance, and once it's gone, you're going to feel the drill just spinning freely. That's how you kind of know, those two reasons right there, or those two ways, are how you kind of know that you have met your depth. If you're not getting that depth and you're not feeling that pretty easily, you have something going on wrong. You're not using enough RPM, or your drill's not sufficient, or it could even be an improperly sealed light. This particular light has no sealant whatsoever. This is a 2006 Toyota Avalon. The sealant has been gone for quite some time, and the sun is just baking into the actual plastic. So we're removing a thin layer of plastic here. There's no sealant on this light. Normally there would be a sealant and it would be the same exact step. You're just getting through the sealant first until you get to those depths that you need to get to. It's not that good to let your lights go this long without being done. This vehicle has never been serviced, and the gentleman stated that he could not see at night on these dirt roads, or country roads in this location. Want to make sure you hit all areas, from corners to sides. Let me show you here. When you have a corner like this, the drill is not going to fit in there because the L angle there is less than 3 inches. So what I did there is remove the interface pad with the P500, and I'm just hitting this area here by hand. Once you found your depth that's surrounding there, all the stuff that I removed surrounding that corner, I kind of know how far I got to get. And with this interface pad and P500 by hand, I can get in there and do just as good a job as the rest of the light. But as you see, it's a nice powdery looking light. That means we're down to acceptable depths.
Step number 3, P800 disc sanding.
Okay, on this step, I want to emphasize with this P800, your focus is to pretty much finesse, really smooth touch, really even strokes, very light, barely hitting the surface, and just, finesse it. Your main focus on this step in this, focus of this pad is to remove any damage the previous pads have done, or whatever else was done with this light before this step. It's kind of an eraser, it's a fixer, it's a smoother. It makes everything nice and clean on this step. So that's what you want to focus on. You don't want to overgrind, you don't want to jam it. If you could tell how softly I'm touching the front of the light, it's very important. Smooth and finesse on this step. You want to kind of focus on that overall. It's finesse, not strength, not pressure on all steps, but primarily on this one. Look at the edge of the drill, super smooth. Removing that again, placing it on an interface pad so we can go ahead and continue to hit those spots we could not hit there in this corner. It has a really sharp corner where only maybe a 1 inch down to a half an inch placement in between. Step 4, hand sanding with P800 and hand attachment. Now, using the same P800 or even a new one, if you feel like you need to, you're going to hand sand with an interface pad and the hand sanding attachment. You're going to do this primarily in two directions, vertically and horizontally, back and forward, really light, kind of a shearing motion. This allows for ultimate clarity at the end, so you can't have any or can't see any swirling or any weird defects or nicks from the drill. This takes off, all of that. Step number 5, water at 3000 Trisect Pad. Okay, so this step here, we're using a 3000 Trisect Pad and basic tap water sprayed out of a spray bottle. Just want to kind of hit it, just, let it sit there. You don't want to do gobs of it where it's dripping everywhere. You just want to hit it and let it adhere to the surface of the headlight. And you also always want to spray the Trisect Pad. With this pad here, as you see that little maneuver I did, you can turn this pad kind of a cockeye type, angle into the corners, and it's fine because this pad will not scratch up your headlight. It's an anti-scratch pad. This is one of the finest levels of scratch removal in all these steps. It's really fine, and it's a space-age technology pad. It really, it's a magic pad. It's one of the magic pads, and it really removes any scratches or swirling.
Step number 6, glass cleaner and clean premium microfiber towel.
Alright, this is glass cleaner here. Spraying it on. You want to get a healthy douse of it. You want to get all the surrounding areas, which helps get all the dust and muck or anything you've missed. Even the top of the light, even the plastic behind the light, all the tape around the light. You want to use a clean microfiber towel as not to transmit any kind of residue or lint or oils behind, anything like that. Premium is preferred because it's so soft. It won't scratch up, the surface of the headlight at all. It's a very nice, cushy type microfiber towel, but you can't get away with using a regular one. I just suggest premium. You also want to let it dry fully before the next step.
Step number 7, polishing the headlight with plastic polish.
Alright, first things first, always use plastic polish. Don't ever use metal polish or anything crazy like that. Why would you if there's plastic polish? Do you think scientists made metal polish to work better than plastic polish? No. Anyhow, on that note, dab in. It is a porous environment on the headlight. This is why I use the dab method. This is porous right here. Okay, with that being said, the dab method helps it soak into those pores. That's why you see it getting kind of clear there. And it also helps from splatter, because right now I'm going to be using a 7800 RPM with this polisher. This is why I have the polisher, because no drill is going to go 7800 RPM. Nowhere close. So, this is specific polisher. It goes really fast, and it produces a lot of heat and whatnot. But as I said, this is a pro thing. This is you should want this if you want your headlights to be banging. But if not, you can get a pretty good likeness with a regular drill all the way through one tool process. But anyhow, this is a 3M finesse pad there. I actually forgot to go into depth about that in the beginning, but this is a magic pad that you will need, and it's called a 3M finesse pad. Sorry about that, but there it is. And use it on this spot, and this is going to be a far superior orange pad. You can get orange level pads anywhere. They're dime a dozen. This one's a little bit expensive for a reason. It's going to be far superior with heat management and distribution and just the fiber, and it lasts, probably can do 20 cars with just one. So it's a big difference. You pay for what you get. You get what's worth what. With a clean microfiber towel, you want to wipe off all the residue. You want to get it from in between where the light meets the actual bumper and panels of the car. You want to get all the residue, all the dust off the headlight before the next step. Step number 8, UV clear coat. Final and most important step is to seal the headlight with a UV headlight restoration sealer made for headlights, with UV in it. This is the most important. It keeps it from coming back. It enhances your clarity of the headlight. It enhances the light expenditure of the headlight. You want to lay down a light layer first, and then you want to keep overlapping in different areas. You want to make sure you shoot it where it gets in between, where the light meets the headlight as best as it can, and you don't want to go too far. You kind of want to gauge how it's sticking to the headlight. A lot of these products will say use multiple coatings. This is not a good idea. There's a video, why not to double coat, on my channel. It'll explain more about that. But anyways, this particular product will dry in about 80-degree heat in about 30 to 60 seconds on the surface. Okay, that's what you want first. First of all, you want it to dry on the surface so nothing can fly into it, no dust, no bugs or whatever, and stick and ruin your headlight restoration. Other than that, it dries and cures at 80-degree heat in about 16 hours. So you kind of want to gauge and manipulate your timing with things around the heat. Okay, I'm using forced air, as I mentioned earlier, to dry this. You can hear the fans. I have 2 fans on this. You don't want to use heat guns. I have done it in the past for months at a time, and I ran into problems. You don't want to use UV heat lamps and stuff like that, because it changes the parameters of the UV clear coat clarity and also adherence and all kind of other things that I had issues with. And air drying turned out to be really, really, really good, and forced air turned out to be the best. But check this out here. It's beautiful, isn't it? And as you see, directional fan, that's 1. That's 2.
Forced air.
Forced air drying. So it's just making things better. Look how nice that light is. Very nice. And that is it. That's all the steps. And check out this side here. That is what it looked like before. That's what it looked like before. Messed up, can't see nothing, can't even see inside the light. And this is what it looks like after. Top notch, brand new, almost better than the day it rolled off the lot. Well, probably is. So feel free to watch this tutorial and this headlight restoration instructions when you're doing your own or any of my other videos, and please like and subscribe and stay tuned for future videos to come.
The Headlight Restoration Pro.